Hello yogis, thank you all very much for giving me your requests of the poses that you're finding challenging at the moment, the things that you want to work on. The first thing we're going to look at is a pose called Uppavista Konasana, which is also known as the pancake pose. So that's when we're seated in a wide-legged position with the legs flexed out and folding forwards. So the reason why it's called a pancake is that you would be folding forwards and almost be flat as though you're a pancake. The areas that we really want to work on if we're trying to do the Uppavista Konasana is hamstring mobility, and we're also looking at the pelvis and the lower back as well. So I'm going to share with you a short sequence that will help you to build up your strength, build up your flexibility and your mobility, so that you'll be able to practice your pancake. So if you are giving this a try, please share a picture of yourself giving it a go. What I would say is please make sure that you warm up carefully if you're going to be practicing any of this, and if you're experiencing pain in any area or you have any injuries, then please take care. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right for you. Okay, on with today's practice. So grab yourself a mat and maybe a strap, something like that, and take yourself into a seat, starting out cross-legged. And we're just going to start by just stretching out the top part of the shoulders, the upper back, to get yourself into your easy seat. Let the knees fall down. And then we're going to take the arms and place them up behind the back of the head. That's it. So we're opening out the elbows, opening the front of the chest. And then start to look up. So you're keeping the elbows out, looking up, and we're stretching, opening the front, breathing out to close in. So when you breathe in, open up the chest, lift up the chin, breathe out, curling it all back in again. Okay, we're going to take it back, up, and to center. And then when you're ready, take the soles of the feet together. So we want to be sitting back on sit bones. Nice straight spine. And then take hold of the feet or the ankles or anywhere that feels right for you. So I'm just having a little bit of a stretch. And then slowly unraveling, opening up the spine. And stretching the knees down. So you're trying to press the knees down towards the floor, opening up the chest and always tilting the pelvis forward slightly so that you can hold that pose. That's it. So we're just opening up the inside of the hips. Okay, and then if you want to, you can lean forwards. When you lean forwards, keeping the spine straight, chest is open here. So I'm not rolling forwards into a ball. And then slowly make your way onto seated. One leg out, tuck the other foot in. So letting the knee fall out to the side. And this is where we're going to need the strap. Or you can use a tie or anything that's similar to the strap here. Press down onto the floor. And then we are hinging forwards from the hips. We want that whole of that leg activated. So you're pressing your foot, you're pressing your calf down, you're pressing your thighs down, you're pressing the knee down, and the leg is activated. And then we're just using the strap to encourage ourselves a little bit further forward towards there. So you notice that my spine is staying straight here. I'm not trying to touch my nose onto my knee. We're trying to stretch out the hamstrings, working a bit on the hips. So the fact that your knee is out to the side as well, this is going to help to open up the lower back as well, open up the hips. So take a breath in first and then breathe out, take it forwards. Lovely, pressing that leg down onto the floor, flexing the foot. So this is what you don't want to do, that rolling forwards. Keep the chest open and looking towards the toes. And then coming out of that. And when you're ready, roll forwards. Taking your right foot forwards and then the left foot. So we want the feet out nice and wide. Trying to work into a malasana squat. So you want the feet out nice and wide. And you can place something behind the heels if you find that this is challenging to keep the heels down, or if you find yourself falling backwards. So this is to help to really open up the hips. Really great mobility move that I recommend in everyone's practice is the malasana squat. So you see I still have a straight spine, so try and keep that straight spine as well. And then we're going to make our way up into downward facing dog. So the hands are spread out, so you want the fingers spread out, taking your feet hip distance apart. And so for this time we're doing downward facing dog, I want you to focus on pressing the heels down towards the floor. So starting with the right foot, wrap the left foot around the back of it, stretching out that side. And then take a small step forwards. So we want both feet pointing forwards, hips forwards, legs straight. That's it. And we want to take the hands behind the back, perhaps into a reverse prayer. This is to encourage a nice straight spine. So as you lean forwards, you're pushing the hips back. This is a really lovely stretch. So again, we've got that straight spine. So we're not rolling forwards. This isn't about how far you can take your nose. It's about that tilt in the pelvis. Try and take your head as far forward as possible. So you're trying to lengthen the spine. So you should be feeling it in the back of the left leg there. Slowly making your way back out and back to downward facing dog. Lovely. And then once you've got yourself comfy in downward facing dog, same as the other side, we're going to wrap the right foot around the back of the left. That's it. Just encouraging that stretch down the back of the leg. And then taking that right foot forwards. So pyramid pose on the other side. So wrapping the hands back so you can take hold of the elbows, or you can go into reverse prayer. Whatever's there available to you. This is just to help encourage the spine to stay straight so you're not tempted to roll forwards. So pushing the hips back. Nice and long through the crown of the head. And then really slowly make our way back to downward facing dog, spreading his fingertips down on the floor. Maybe pedaling out the feet a little bit. Nice. And then the left foot forwards into a lunge. And we're going to make our way to the sides. Lovely. So feet pointing straight out to the sides, nice and wide, but we want to be able to have some control here. And as you take the hands onto the hips, we're going to fold forward, but try and keep the spine straight. So that's me trying to demonstrate the spine straight, rather than trying to fold all the way forward. So we're trying to keep the spine straight so that we're keeping that stretch in the back of the legs and the top of the hips. And on your next breath out, see if you can take it a little bit further. That's it. On the next breath out, lifting back up. Okay, so we're going to do some drills on this one. Give the hips a little bit of a stretch first. Maybe go a bit wider if that's in your remit, in your space. Breathing in and breathing out. Leaning forwards, keeping that spine nice and straight. Lovely. So really important we try and keep the spine straight, and also really important that you're not so wide that your legs are starting to give way. You can take your hands onto the floor if you want to. You can use books or anything like that as well to lean onto. And then slowly make your way back up. Okay, hands onto the top of the head. I'm going to do some drills this time. Okay, so you're going to breathe out and breathing in, lifting up, and breathing out to lower down. Trying to maintain that straight spine as much as you can, so it's a real good focus. Keeping the elbows out clean. But this is really, so these drills are here to help with the strength in that range of motion as well. And when you've got that strength and range of motion, it really helps you to cut down on a risk of injury. That's it. So breathing in to lift up, breathing out, leaning forwards. Lovely, lifting up one, last one, that's it. And then turn to face the front, back down onto your lunge. Back knee down. And then we're going to make our way down onto the floor. Finding your strap or whatever it is that you're using for the strap again. And do a bit of work stretching out the hamstrings. So starting out with the left foot, take the strap on the left foot. And then once you're in position, we want to try and keep that leg straight. We want to be pushing the hip down onto the floor, flexing the foot. And then lengthening the other leg away as much as you can. Try and keep your shoulders on the floor as well. Just holding it for a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, just take that foot out to the outside. So taking hold of the strap and taking the leg out to the left. So we're just stretching out the adductors a little bit as well. Just starting to get the leg used to the range of motion here. And then back into centre. You can hold this for as long as you want to when you're doing this, practicing at home yourself. Before we do the other side. That's it. So try and push the hip down as much as you can, keeping the legs straight as much as you can, and then pushing the heel of the opposite foot away, so straightening out the opposite leg. Again, you can hold these hamstring stretches for as long as you like. So I've only got it on for a short amount of time, but you might want to hold it for a few more breaths. You might want to try and work the leg a little bit closer. And then when you're ready, taking the strap into the right hand, and then taking the leg out to the right. So left arm, you can take that out into it. To the side, so it's into the T-shape. Take some nice long breaths. Try to keep both hips down on the ground as much as you can while you're in this pose. There you go, yeah, then slowly, when you're ready, leg back up, release the strap, and then take both knees in for a nice big hug. Lovely. And then we're going to make our way onto child's pose. So back onto all fours. Knees out nice and wide, big toes to touch, and then draw the hips back as far as is comfortable, and lengthening out down towards the floor. So this is another really good prep pose, and it stretches out all of the lower back and the hips and the glutes, and it feels great too. Okay, and then when you're ready, I think we're ready to try a bit of our pancake pose. So get yourself comfy. You want to get yourself sat on your hips as much as you can. So take a moment to adjust. We want the legs active, so pressing the legs down, feet flexed. And then as you're leaning yourself forwards, you don't want the feet to fall in as well. So make sure those legs are nice and active. That's it. And then we're just slowly bringing it up and bringing it down. Just warming up the hips. Slowly preparing your body. That's it. Breathing out, leaning forwards, trying to keep the spine straight as possible. It is a lot more challenging to keep the spine straight when you're in this pose compared to the standing version. And when you're ready, take your hands down onto the floor. That's it. So you're trying to stop the feet from falling inwards. You want to keep the legs totally active. So pressing your sit bones down on the floor. If you can, yeah, that's it. Lifting your arms off the ground so that you know that your body's taking the weight. Okay, just take a moment to rest. So just windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. That's it. And then we're going to try again in a minute. So just loosening them off a bit. And then when you're ready, getting back into the pose. So legs out nice and wide. Sit bones down, legs active. Take a breath in and breathe out, leaning forwards. Lovely. So breathing in, breathing out, leaning forwards. Lovely. So if you want to get good at something, you need to really practice it regularly and a lot. A lot of the time in yoga, we only really pick up on a pose a couple of times in a single practice. So this is slightly different to how I normally teach it. We're going to be doing the same pose a little bit more. That's it. You might notice that you can take it a little bit further now with all of this practice you've been doing. Leg flexed. So the whole of the leg active. The quads, the calf, you want the toes drawing towards you. And slowly make your way back up. Lovely. Well done. So that's your pancake practice. Give yourself a nice, well-deserved child's pose to finish your practice today. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. Please let me know if you've got any other poses that you're working on or any parts of the body that you want to work on or focus on at the moment. And I'll do my best to have a good think about the best approach for you. Namaste. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.